I think 9 years, 11 years, nine in the assembly. And I met her when I ran for the assembly in 2018, but I tell you, I was a fan long before that. She has been a proponent of unions, women's rights, abortion rights. She is someone I've admired for a really long time. I am so excited that she threw her hat into the ring for this Supreme Court seat. She is going to be a phenomenal addition to our Wisconsin State Supreme Court, and it is my honor to introduce Judge Chris Taylor.
Aw, thank you so much, Anne. Thank you all for being here on this wintry day. Oh my gosh, it's the day you want to be in your pajamas at home. So thanks so much for coming out, and a big thank you to our elected officials who are here, Melissa Marine, and who else is elected? Anybody else? I want to... Oh, we did that before. Okay, great. I won't do that again. So you all, how many of you care about our rights and our freedoms? Anybody? Woohoo! How about our democracy? Anybody care about that? Okay, well, so do I, and that's why I'm running to be your next Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice. We have an incredible opportunity here. I know it's hard to see opportunity when you turn on the news and read the newspaper every day. But we have an incredible opportunity here to protect and expand a pro-democracy majority on this court that is going to be committed to the people of the state of Wisconsin, to their rights, to our democracy, and to holding the big corporate interests accountable when they hurt Wisconsinites. So a little bit about my background. I always knew that I would go to law school because I learned from my own family's experience that the law can be a powerful tool to improving people's lives and actually helping people. My maternal grandmother, who I was very close with and helped raise me, was a single mom for most of my mother's life. And she struggled to make ends meet until she got a union job. And that union job enabled her to earn a fair wage, enabled her to help my mom and her two brothers go to college. They all became public school teachers, and enabled her not just to survive, but to thrive. And through her experience and her talking to me, I learned that laws that actually lift working people up and give them a voice in their work environments and fairly compensate them, improve not only their lives, but improve communities. And I decided, wow, if I could do that as a lawyer, that would be really powerful. And so here I am 30 years later. I graduated more than 30 years ago from UW Law School, and I have spent my 30-year legal career focused on improving people's lives, protecting their rights, and making our communities better. I started off, yay! Yes. I started off in private practice, just representing normal people who had legal problems. And I learned how to litigate. I learned how to be in court and present cases. I then became the law and policy director for Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin. Wow, where I worked every day to try to make sure people had access to affordable health care, because that's what Planned Parenthood provides, is health care to people who do not have it and don't have the money to get it. And then I did a U-turn. I ran for the state legislature in 2011. You all remember what was happening in 2011? And I had two small kids, and I was worried about a lot of things, including the largest cut to public education, K through 12 public education we've ever seen in the state of Wisconsin. I had a 4-year-old son going off to kindergarten in the fall of that year, and I said, you know, I can't take it. I got to do something, so I ran. And I served at the assembly. It was a great honor, and worked on the same issues that you all care about and we continue to really fight for. Access to affordable health care. So important. Making sure that our kids have opportunities and our kids are safe. And finally, making sure, and doing everything I could to try to pass policies that allowed working people to get a slice of the pie that they made every single day, not just the little piddly crumbs at the end. But I'm probably as proud of anything of all the bipartisan work that I got done, including a bill called the Safe at Home Act, which created a program for victims of domestic violence and sexual assault to get a state-sponsored P.O. box rather than disclose their residential addresses. And that's still having a positive impact on people. By 2020, though, I admire everybody who serves at the legislature. Let me tell you, I was ready to get back to the courtroom by 2020, and I thought I could do more good for people by becoming a judge. I'd always aspired. I had my very first job when I was graduating from law school was clerking for the first woman ever elected to the Dane County Circuit Court, Moira Krieger. And so I had always aspired. I never knew how to get there. It's scary running for office, right? When you're an attorney, it's not a natural thing for you. But after going through the assembly, I thought, okay, I can do this. I can run. And I was appointed, and then I ran. And then in 2023, I was elected by Wisconsinites in red, blue, purple counties to the Court of Appeals, where I write my decisions, collaborating with my colleagues, talking with my colleagues, working with my colleagues to make sure I'm coming up with the best decisions that I can for the people of this state. So why am I running here? What's at stake here? Well, in my opinion, our state Supreme Court is one of the last lines of defense of our democracy, of the protection of our rights, and in lifting up our people in the state of Wisconsin. It has never been more important. We are seeing attacks on our democracy. We need a strong court. That is when the other branches of government, including the federal government, overreach and act unconstitutionally in our state, we need a strong court to say no, to check them. We need a strong court to protect our fundamental rights, our rights to speak, our rights to peacefully protest, and not risk our lives when we're doing it. And elections! Protecting our elections and our right to vote. Our state Supreme Court, as currently the current majority, has done those things. They've struck down an 1849 criminal abortion law that would have pretty much outlawed abortion in the state of Wisconsin for any instance. They struck down the legislative maps that some called the most gerrymandered in the nation. That was our state Supreme Court. And they rejected an effort to overturn our 2020 election. All those decisions were made by one vote. One vote. That is what we are hanging by. One vote. So I understand, and I am ready to stand up for the people of the state of Wisconsin, our Constitution, and our independence. We are not, and we will not be a rubber stamp of the federal government in the state of Wisconsin. Yay. So, all of this contrasts greatly with my opponent, Maria Lazar. I've spent my life trying to protect and enhance people's rights. She has spent her legal career trying to take those rights away. So let's start with talking about how she will not protect our democracy. My opponent started her career, well, actually it was kind of in the middle of her career by defending Scott Walker's agenda, including, she was the attorney defending the gerrymandered maps, restrictions on women's health, Act 10.
I was at the Capitol that day.
Yes. Voting restrictions. She is not going to protect our democracy. Let's talk about, and as a judge, she ruled, thank goodness it was overturned by our state Supreme Court, that our private voting data could be released to the public. The state Supreme Court overturned that decision, thankfully. In terms of our individual rights, she has said overturning Roe versus Wade was very wise, and she would have voted to enforce that criminal abortion ban. She's been supported by people, groups who not just oppose abortion in every instance, but birth control and fertility treatments. This is the extreme agenda she will bring to the Wisconsin Supreme Court. And finally, as an attorney, she started her legal career defending the big banks and the predatory lenders and helped them foreclose on people's homes in Wisconsin during the housing crisis. She is not going to protect our rights. And as I said, as an attorney defending Scott Walker's agenda, really advocated to take our rights away. Finally, well, who are the people who like her? Well, the big corporations, the billionaires, and the powerful special interests. They love Maria Lazar. They love her. Well, why? Because she will do their bidding. She has done their bidding. She joined a decision just earlier this year that would allow polluters to be not accountable when they dump toxic forever chemicals into our water. Again, thankfully, that decision was overturned by our state Supreme Court. This is the agenda she brings. So you can bet we're going to see her billionaire friends in this race. And that's where you all come in. She might have the billionaires, but I've got the people. And the people will beat the billionaires once again. So we need to get out there. Anything you all can do, your door knocking, your postcard writing, your calling, that's how we're going to win. That's how we're going to protect our state, your rights. That's how we're going to also send a message all around this nation and the world. Justice is not for sale in the state of Wisconsin. So together, let's elect a justice for the people. Thank you all so much. Yay. So I think now I'm supposed to answer questions, right? Yes.
I
Yes.
do have a question.
Yeah.
And for my part, this is how I feel. I feel the Constitution is no longer enough in this administration. What happened in Minneapolis is a prime example of that. And it's just getting worse. How can we protect and strengthen the Constitution to serve us?
Yeah.
Instead of being attacked by brown shirts in a fascist government.
So thank you for that question, and it really underscores what can be done, the possibility. We have our own state constitution. Our state constitution can be interpreted by our state Supreme Court as affording more rights than the federal Constitution. The federal Constitution just says what states can't do, right? The Bill of Rights is what the state can't do. Can't restrict free speech, can't violate due process rights. Our state Constitution is affirmative. It's a statement about the values we have and the rights that can be protected under a state constitution. So what I anticipate happening in this era of watching the U.S. Supreme Court roll back our rights and not perform the function of holding the other branches of government accountable is there's going to be much more litigation in state courts. Because our state constitution is a vibrant, living document that has many more things in it than the federal Constitution. That our state Supreme Court and not just the state Supreme Court, the trial courts, the Court of Appeals where I am, can interpret to protect people's rights in the spirit of when that Constitution was passed. We have a very strong, active democracy. We always have here in Wisconsin. We value people's participation in government. Government's about people. It's not about the big corporations. It's not about the richest people. It's about you. And so that's what we can do here in Wisconsin, is let's start looking at our state constitution and saying what our state constitution protects. So it's a great opportunity, and I do anticipate, not just in our state, but states all over this country, the litigation for rights is going to turn to the state constitutions. Yeah.
So I'm going to shift from policy to your campaign. What can we do? I mean, specifically, do you have volunteer lists that we can sign up for? Or did you bring donation envelopes with you? All of that kind of thing.
So what you all can do is we are coordinating our massive grassroots effort with the party, with the Democratic Party. If you are signed up to volunteer with them, we will get to you. So please, you can go on their website, sign up to volunteer. You can also go to my website, chrisforjustice.com, and sign up to join the campaign. You don't have to, you don't have to pay any money. Just join the campaign and you will get updates and we will get you into our volunteer lists. So you can give us your name for certain, but easier to go on the website and just join the campaign or volunteer for the Dem Party. The money is tricky for me. I can't ask anybody for money as a sitting judge. Okay, we are precluded from doing that. I can ask you for your support. We are going to win this by the grassroots. I mean, the money is important. I'm not going to lie. I am going to get bombarded. The billionaires, no, I'm not their candidate.
How'd that turn out for Elon Musk?
Exactly. We know we can beat him, and I don't know if he's, I don't think we're going to see his face again here in Wisconsin. Will we? Yes, we can hope. Will we feel its money? Yes. And even if he's not in this race, my opponent got elected to the Court of Appeals by out-of-state billionaires. That's who elected her there. And so even without Elon Musk, she makes a couple phone calls and she has millions. I make 20,000 because I want the support from the people. That's what this race is about for me.
I'd like to know what kind of approach you are using to get the young people and the fence sitters.
Can I add on to that, Arlie?
Sure.
I had that exact same comment because the average age in this room is not 20-something. I have 20-something children whose friends have come over during the holiday break and they are talking about Epstein and they're talking about Minnesota. And they are so cynical and so angry. I think there's an opportunity that we all in this room have to get our kids and grandkids to go out and knock doors, even if you just say, please drive me one day. If you can start to get them engaged, it'll feed them, it'll heal them a little bit, and also it will set the tone for them to participate more.
So, yes, no, we need to. I mean, young people, if they voted in the same percentages of my generation or even the generation above me, they would determine who gets elected. So they have incredible power, and I talk to them about that and utilizing it. And I think we have to show them the way. We have to show them some positive things they can do to make a difference. Because yes, if they're just looking, and I have a 15-year-old and a 19-year-old, they are scrolling a lot. And they're getting depressed. I mean, and getting that phone out of their hands is very difficult. It's a full-time job. That's why I have an app that shuts it down. I can do that from anywhere. Just shut down. So we need to empower them. Give them some things they can do. And they will jump on it. I think they want to make a difference, in my opinion, the young people I'm dealing with. But the other thing we're doing is I'm going to young people. Not just college campuses. I'm going where the young people are. A lot of them are in indivisible groups. They're not necessarily with a party, but a lot of them are in the indivisible groups. And just anywhere I can find young people.
Your statement about the Constitution is so great, because that's what we need to do. We have to be for the Constitution. Some people are afraid of being Democrats. Oh my God, they think that it's terrible. And we have to say, if you want to, do you back the Constitution or not?
Well, and do you want to live in a democracy? Or do you want to live in a monarchy or a dictatorship? I mean, it's really these questions I think we can pose to them and then help empower them to take action. They motivate me, I gotta say. When I'm around college kids, wow, that is a fun place to be because a lot of them are motivated. Look, not to point you out, but there are young people who care. They do care. And we have to get to them, and I need your help in getting to them and telling them, look, there's an election that can make a difference. So, yeah.
Young people who are so angry and cynical that they don't care are my concern. Not the people
Yeah.
you're seeing at the college campuses, but my kids and their
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that I think if we give them hope, if we say you participate, you will feel hope, you will see the results of your actions. So talk to your own families.
Yeah.
Because those are the people on the fringe that need to be reached out to.
Absolutely. And finding them. And we're trying to communicate in every medium with people who care about their rights, fairness, democracy. We need a broad campaign here. I don't need people to agree with everything I personally agree with or everything you personally agree with. We need people who want to see a fair democratic government and want a court to be independent so that we can make sure your rights are protected and the other branches of government are held accountable. Yeah.
So when you shut your kids' phones down, do they say, I object?
Oh, yeah. Yes, they do. They say more than that. It's with a ma.
Have you ever held them in contempt?
I have not, but I have felt like it.
So I have
Believe
a
me.
question for you.
Yeah.
From Mary Ellen Roosh, can you please work on messaging for postcards? Given the nature of the
sure.
county, postcards.
Absolutely.
Really,
Yeah.
that'd be helpful.
Yeah. I'll tell you, it's my 3 points. But I'll certainly put this in an email. It's, I will protect our democracy, I will protect our rights, and I will make sure that when big corporations and the special interests hurt us and our state, that they're held accountable. So it's really those 3 messages. This is a race for people. I am a justice for the people of the state. They will be my priority. So it's those 3 things I talk a lot about. Your rights, our democracy and our government, and protecting our state. I mean, that's kind of, I guess, maybe 4 messages. We need to protect the state of Wisconsin. I'm very worried about our state and making sure that what we do and the rights that we have here are not rolled back.
So in relation to that, the Montana plan, how would that fit within the state? I've heard some.
I don't know what's the Montana plan.
So
I don't know the
states
Montana.
are initiating state level legislation based on their state constitutions against the big amounts of money, essentially.
Oh, yeah, we
undermining
could do that for a
Citizens
long time.
United.
We've been doing that. We had some of the strongest campaign finance laws in the country until the period of time when I was in the legislature, and I fought the gutting of these laws. Our legislature, if we had a majority who was committed to this, could pass robust campaign finance laws. I mean, what they did in 2015 contributed to the absolute politicization that we see of these races because they allow parties to contribute unlimited amounts to candidates with no check. Even that law made a difference. Now we have nothing. So there's a whole lot, as Melissa and Maureen know, that can be done in the state legislature if that was the priority by the majority there. So there's a ton that we can do, and we have done it. Our state led the nation in clean government and campaign finance laws. Yeah. Do you have a question?
Oh, I wasn't sure you were going to have time for it. I was going to say, when other campaigns are going out, just one thing I would say is we are more than happy to take your lid out and distribute it. And
yes, great.
I will say, when I was taking your lid out, most of the questions I got were about you. So it's not like people don't want to have this information.
Yeah.
It's not like people aren't caring.
Yeah.
It's that right now they're not sure who to trust.
Yes.
Information-wise.
Yes, totally.
A person at their door is one of the best ways you can relate to them and say, hey, I've met this lady. I actually know her. So you can actually communicate that to them. And that works no matter how old you are or how young you are.
Yeah. No, that's such a good point. And that's why I think the most powerful message is delivered at the door. I just believe that. It's not for everybody. Knocking doors is hard, and I get that. And if it's not your thing, and you can write a postcard, that's great too. But that personal connection, it just can't be duplicated in a political ad. It's so powerful, I think. So great, that is a great reminder for us that we need to get you Good Lit that has these messages on it. Oh yeah, Melissa.
I just wanted to know, last night you were at the Oregon Area Progressives,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So, and you've done a lot of different events, and I just wanted everyone to know, Chris is doing the work. She is out and about, and which is great to see. I've endorsed you, and because you do the work, and it's really important. It's not. It is about the people, right?
It is.
And that's really important. Postcards are more effective when then someone comes to their door and talks about her. It keeps putting it in people's minds. It's not just something they get in the mail, then they're like, oh, I think I heard about her. So it's the connection of all of that is really important with doors and postcards and mailers and all of it. And I'm just really thankful that you stepped up to run.
Oh, thank you.
And we need you there. And so I just am appreciative that you are out and about so much and doing the work. And so I'm sure she would be willing to go wherever anybody wants to invite her if there's groups of people to meet people where they're at.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Melissa.
What is your opinion on the proliferation of data centers in our state? I know there's some litigation pending,
Yeah.
which may reach the Supreme Court.
Yes, right. So I can't comment on it. No, I can't. Any case that could come before me, I cannot comment on. And, that is the golden rule, because I don't want to be in a situation where I can't
Well, I
hear.
think you should know that many of us are opposed to it.
What I will tell...
Very dangerous to the environment and to our tax structure and to our, electricity and everything.
I am following the issue very closely, and what I can tell you is during my time in the legislature, I was a big champion for environmental protections, for clean water, all of those things that make our communities places we want to live in. But I can't specifically go into that issue, but I hear you. It's not, and I've heard this from a lot of communities, not just this community.
And could they become obsolete after they're built? I mean, in 10 years, are they going to be?
We appreciate a judge who actually follows the rules.
Yeah, you can.
Legitimately. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Time for maybe one more question?
Oh, okay. Who didn't get to ask one? Ann, did you?
This is not related to the Wisconsin Supreme Court, but I am constantly baffled by the U.S. Supreme Court. And I'm baffled by the people who claim to be interpreters of the Constitution, the originalists, who don't seem to have a clue what this country was founded on. I just wonder what your thoughts are as a jurist. What has happened to an allegedly co-equal branch of our government that has literally abdicated any authority to the executive branch?
So first I'll say this whole originalist philosophy is a fake, phony philosophy. It was made up in the 1980s.
Okay.
It's just not legitimate, in my opinion. It makes no sense because the Constitution, the U.S. Constitution, was going to need to evolve to take into account a changing country. So there's no way we're stuck in Jell-O or stuck in glass like a little insect. And I reject originalism because I think it's phony. It's not real. So I think what we're seeing with the U.S. Supreme Court is the unfortunate effects of the politicization of a court. And I saw this when I was in the legislature. We had a state Supreme Court when I was in the legislature who I knew we had no hope of taking some of the laws that I saw being passed that I had concerns about and thought some of them were unconstitutional. We had no option. We had no check on the legislative power, and I saw how dangerous that is. And that is, unfortunately, what has happened in the U.S. Supreme Court. Those justices were picked by the Federalist Society, who's also supporting my opponent. The group, the Federalist Society, they handpicked those justices for a particular reason, to carry out a political agenda. And that's what we're seeing. And that's why we're seeing this absolute rollback of our rights. But we're also seeing something else that's really shocking, and that is the lower federal courts are trying to hold the executive accountable. They are making findings of fact, they are writing long decisions, and they're being overruled on this secret shadow docket. It's unbelievable. This is against how the judiciary functions. We, at the appellate court level, and I don't want to get too wonky on this, we don't find facts, and we have a very deferential review of facts that have been found by a circuit court that hears the evidence, does the trial. It's where the experts go and testify. And to see factual findings, detailed, dozens and dozens of pages of factual findings that these lower courts are making just be overturned on a shadow docket is anathema to the functioning of how the judiciary is supposed to be.
Thank you.
So, well,
Wisconsin can lead the way.
we can, yes, and we will. And we will. So thank you all so much. Let's do this April 7th. Yay!